Let's go over some Surds information. Now, remember that when we're dealing with Surds, so Surds are basically square roots with irrational answers. So root 9 is not a surd because the answer is 3. Root 7 is a surd because the answer is 2 point something or other that goes on forever, right? So surds do not have a whole number answer. They will be irrational and the decimals will go on forever. So when we're dealing with surds, we can simplify them in certain ways. And that's what we're going to try and do here. So we're going to look for factors of all of these numbers that can be square rooted. So hopefully you can think that 100 times 2 is 200, and you can square root 100. So let's have another look at this number here. What could you break this up into so one of the numbers can be square rooted? Well, hopefully you can see that this is 25 times 2. So what that means is I can pull out the square root of 100. The square root of 100 is 10, and I'm still left with root 2. And the same is going to be true over here. If I pull out 25, the square root of 25 is 5, and I'm left with 2. Now that these two things match, I'm allowed to add them together. You can kind of think about this like 10x plus 5x. And if you did that, you would have 15x. Well, that's what we're doing here. We've got 10 root 2 plus 5 lots of root 2. So altogether, we have 15 lots of root 2. Right, I'm going to rub this out because I need the space. Let's do question 2. So this is exactly the same. We're going to think about each one of these separately and then see what we can simplify. So what factors of 27 can be square rooted? Hopefully you can see that this is going to be 9 times 3, and you can square root 9. Then the same is going to be true of this. I'm going to have a factor that I can square root. Well, 4 can be square rooted, and 4 times 3 is 12. And 4 can also be square rooted here. 4 times 2 is 8. All right, so let's pull out all our square roots. The square root of 9 is 3, and I'm left with 3. The square root of 4 is 2, and I'm left with root 2. And then, sorry, I'm left with root 3. What am I doing? Undo. 2 root 3. And then I pull out the square root of 4, which is 2, and I'm left with 2. Right, now these two match, so I can put those together. So 3 plus 2 is 5. So I have 5 lots of root 3. And then I'm still left with 2 lots of root 2. I can't put these together. It's like saying 5x plus 2y. You can't put those together. They're not like terms, right? They don't go together. So this is your final answer. You can't simplify any further. All right, I am now going to give you a couple of questions to practice. I'm just going to clear this screen. Hang on a second. All right, I've got 2 questions that I'd like you to have a go at. You can pause the recording and try and solve them. And I am going to solve them in 3, 2, 1. All right, first of all, I'm going to change colors. Let's look at this. What factors of 98 can be square rooted? You can't just divide this by 2 because that wouldn't help you. Neither of those numbers can be square rooted. Oh, sorry, by 2, that would be stupid because that's exactly what I'm about to do. I meant by 3. This is 49 times 2. 49 can be square rooted. All right, what other factors of this can be square rooted? Well, this is actually 36 times 2. So the square root of 49 is 7. And then I'm left with root 2. The square root of 36 is 6, and I'm left with root 2. And because these match, I can add them together. So 7 plus 6 is 13 lots of root 2. All right, let's have a look at this one. What factors of 45 can be square rooted? Hopefully you can see it's 9 times 5. And then what factors of this can be square rooted? This is 9 times 2. And what factors of this can be square rooted? This is 25 times 3. No, it's not. It's 25 times 5. That is extremely silly of me. All right, let's keep going. So I'm going to pull out the square root of 9 is 3. So I'm left with 3 root 5. The square root of 9 is 3. I'm left with 3 root 2. The square root of 25 is 5. I'm left with 5 root 5. All right, now these two things can be added together. So I've got 3 lots of root 5 and 5 lots of root 5. So altogether, I have 8 lots of root 5, and then I'm left with 3 lots of root 2. They don't match, so I can't add them together, and that is the solution to my Surds problem. All right, let me know if you've got any more questions.